Okay, I think this is a good time for me to talk about the 1.21 balance patch. And I know I'm late to the party because I've been labbing Ogre like a mad rat. I'm currently in the works of making a guide for him for anyone that's interested. So that's where my priority has been. I took a look and I read a couple things with the update, and I was pleasantly surprised at a lot of the changes that these characters had. Hyde being one of them. And for those that don't know, I am the biggest Hyde hater to ever be seen on YouTube, but for the time of me recording this, it's currently like 3:50 in the morning, so I'm not about to blaze him like I normally would if I had the energy. But yeah, this character got nerfed. They basically toned down his neutral a little bit. His dash sheet is not as good as it was before. They removed the foot property, invincibility. They shortened the upwards hitbox, and they decreased the cancel window, meaning that it takes some, like, he has to actually space out this normal, because if he doesn't, if he tries to delay it, his projectiles or specials are not going to come out. And this is really bad, because if he doesn't do this, he is negative in your face. So really healthy change towards Hyde. Another thing that they fixed, which I'm going to say fixed rather than nerf, was this to F. It is visually smaller than how it was before, and if I remember correctly, they removed the class properties behind it. So now if you do, let's say, EX special, let me throw Hyde for this, right? If you do an EX special, he basically eliminates that whole shit, which is what I really like. Hyde's been problematic since the release of Unity 2, so I'm glad that French Red has taken the necessary measures in order to tone him down a little bit. So if you're a Hyde main watching, it's not all bad, because he did walk home with some buffs as well. They buffed his 2A, his 2C slightly has forward movement. His J normals like JA and B also got buffed, as well as 2C. He's run behind it a lot quicker now. And his DP has increased damage as well as throw invincibility, like most of the regular DPs in this game do. And I think that's everything. So Hyde got nerfed, but also got buffed as well. So I agree with this change. I think they're healthy for Hyde in general. Now let me talk about the system changes, which I really come to appreciate. Basically what they did was they buffed guard thrust. If you, let's say, an EX projectile or anything in general, the range is a lot further. So in certain matches, let's say when you're playing Carmine, on Drekia, Bakia, now you're able to actually get off of you at this range. This is really, really good. But they also made defensive options a lot riskier, because if you veil off, if you keep an edge, as well as, like I mentioned, guard thrust, you are now in a counter hit state, which means that you're basically going to get more reward if you properly read your opponent, which at the end of the day I agree with. So yeah, and another interesting change is the mid dash shield. I think this is good, because if you're fighting someone that can frame trap with their projectile, you can literally do like a micro shield dash and literally reduce their frame beta. So I think that's really good, and you can ultimately win Vorpal if you do this properly and someone's zoning at you. So now if you're zoning out someone, you can just do shit like this, which is really good. What's another thing that they added that I really come to appreciate? Oh yeah, for those that have seen my last video with the terrible audio quality, I do apologize. Hopefully it sounds better in today's video. Basically what I mentioned there was the fact that there was no real explanation on what your Vorpal trait did, or what Vorpal did for certain characters, but they rectify this issue with a little thing in their command list. So if you're someone new to Under 9 Birth and you want to understand what Vorpal trait does for your character, all you gotta do is go into the command list, and it actually tells you here. I really, really praise French Red for rectifying this. This is great to see, and this just put a huge smile on my face. Now moving on to a little bit of dislikes with the balance patch. This is probably gonna be the same shit I said 6 months ago. I don't necessarily understand why French Red likes buffing characters the way they do. And actually, let me say this again. This is not necessarily a dislike, it's more of a concern. Like Bakia getting buffed, Carmine getting buffed, Gordo, I appreciate Gordo getting buffed. I don't think that's a bad thing, even though his normals is type ridiculous. And who else got buffed? Lene got buffed in certain areas. And yeah, like French bread, they just like, they had that philosophy of we're just gonna pick everybody up, whether they're top tier or not. We're just gonna make everybody feel strong. So certain characters, I don't think they need to get buffed, but in order to make the game feel fresh, I feel it's necessary. They feel it's necessary. So again, it's not really a dislike, it's more of a concern. But yeah, that is my opinion with the 1.21 balance patch. I fuck with it overall. I love Ogre. Again, stay in tune or look at the future guide video for this character, because he should come out before this month is over. And yeah, my name is Lightning Hearts. I do internet and nerf content. If you really like my content, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned into the next video. Y'all have a blessed one.